Hello, welcome back to Homestead News with Kevin and Pat. Today, we are exploring my family's legacy. A legacy 250 years in the making. My great-great-great-great-grandfather, David Surbaugh, a German, came here in March of 1776 to fight in the Revolutionary War. After the war, he stayed in this country, and along with his brother Carl and another cousin, they settled in different areas of the New World. They each changed their names. A name change that was done in part by census takers and so forth, as English speakers not knowing how to pronounce the German name correctly. The story that we will unfold from Lewisburg, West Virginia, is set forth before you, starting with his arrival in March of 1776, through his death, and then on into his grandsons fighting for the Confederacy, and ultimately then spreading across the growing country. His grandson that I am descended from moved on to Kansas. Others went to Ohio, and Indiana, and various other areas of the frontier. So let's get started. I hope you enjoy. In preparation for our trip for the Surbaugh 250-year legacy heritage tour, we got the DNA kit from Ancestry DNA to check out and confirm our heritage. Where are we from? We know Germany and we know England, but what other heritage do we have? Taking it to the post office, we dropped it in the mail. David Surbaugh arrived in the American colonies in March of 1776 as a Hessian Hanoi soldier. Many of these troops landed in Quebec to assist British forces in Canada before moving south into New York. David was part of the forces that fought in the Battle of Saratoga in October of 1777. Following the British defeat, he became part of the Convention Army, a group of prisoners who were marched across the colonies. After being held in prisoner-of-war camps in locations like Charlottesville, Virginia, and Reading, Pennsylvania, he eventually gained his freedom around 1785. He married Anne Wiseman in 1786 and relocated to Greenbrier County, Virginia, now part of West Virginia, where he became a master craftsman. High above the valley floor of Fayette County, perched at an elevation of nearly 2,400 feet, lies the unincorporated community of Surbaugh, West Virginia. Unlike the temporary coal camps that once dotted these mountains, Surbaugh is a legacy settlement, a place rooted in land and valley long before the first rail was ever laid. The story begins in 1786 with a land survey for a waterway known then as the Surbaugh Branch. The name itself is a bridge to the past, an Americanized version of the German Surbach, meaning sour creek. Long before industrial mining, the pioneers who settled here recognized the unique mineral-rich nature of the water, a natural acidity etched into the very name of the land. All right, so because of Pat's wheelchair and so forth, and because it is raining, and we won't be making it to the creek, but from this point here, we're about 3.7 miles away from the Surbaugh Creek pedestrian bridge. And we got, here's a map of the area. And there's a QR code. You might be able to freeze the video and scan that with your phone. This wasn't just a location. It was home to craftsmen like Johann David Surbaugh, whose master-crafted furniture that you see pictured here is still preserved today at the North House Museum in Lewisburg. While other towns were built by corporations to house miners, Surbaugh grew organically from family land holdings, maintaining a sense of autonomy and stability that lasted for generations. That's
Or we'll find it later in your video.
It's on the outside, yeah. But
Yeah.
Last night they're trying to probe Dan on what he can do when he's not giving tools. It's going to take a while to get up.
But the craftsmanship carried a heavy weight. Like many successful men of his time and the area, David was a slaveholder, and his workshop was the site of a profound struggle for liberty. In the landmark 1824 case, Maria versus Surbaugh, a woman named Maria sued for her family's freedom in a battle that reached the Virginia Supreme Court. While we celebrate the furniture David left behind, we must also honor the story of Maria and those whose labor was part of this landscape. So, the question is, what was this landmark case known as Maria versus Surbaugh. And why was it a landmark case? Well, the story is that Maria was a slave, and she, at a very young age, was promised her freedom when she turned, I think it was 31. When she turned 31, she would get her freedom. Well, over the course of time, she was sold several times to other slave owners. And over that course of time, she had children. Presumably got married and had children. And when she turned 31, she had been sold to David Surbaugh, who gave her her freedom. However, her children were not also freed. So she sued. It made it to as far as the Virginia Supreme Court, where, as you can see in these slides here, in the frame beside me, she eventually lost the case. The Virginia Supreme Court said no. While you are free, the contract did not include your kids, and therefore they are not free. So, as it was, it became a landmark case. While this particular case, Maria versus Surbaugh, cited 3 other previous cases. It in turn cited, it in turn was cited by 23 other cases that occurred afterwards. So, with that it went beyond Virginia. These 23 cases were cases as far west as Missouri and Arkansas. Now, it's shameful that my family had a part in this, but that was 200 years ago. Unfortunately, David himself died before the Virginia Supreme Court heard the case and or ruled on the case. So it was his kids that finished clearing up the case. His grandkids then went on and pretty much all uniformly served and fought in the Confederacy, even while their area of Virginia split from Virginia and became a free state, and officially a Union state.
Grave of our great grandfather, David Surbaugh. You still can read some of it. David, his son to that, and then Bob. Actually, it has an O there instead of an A. And he's 66 years old when he died.
Do we know if he was sick or what?
I don't know what his cause of death was.
By the 1860s, the family David founded was swept up in the fires of the Civil War. His grandsons, men like Jake, the partisan ranger, and Jacob of Edgar's battalion, stood firmly with Confederacy, defending the very soil their grandfather had cleared. From the Battle of Lewisburg to the harsh reality of prisoner of war camps, the Surbaugh story became inextricably woven into the most defining conflict of the American map. The dust of war eventually gave way to the soot of industry, changing the world in 1873 when the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway unlocked the New River Gorge. Suddenly, the smokeless coal of Fayette County was the standard for the world. While the coal boom brought industry and heavy equipment to the region, Surbaugh's strategic position on the plateau allowed it to survive the eventual decline of the valley floor coal camps. Alright, as promised, first the results from that DNA test I sent off to Ancestry DNA. Though my name is my last name is German, and I'm directly descended from German heritage who married other Germans along the way, whose descendants married other Germans along the way, and so forth. There is enough British or English, Wales, Ireland, that has married into the family that my DNA shows that I'm mostly from England, Wales, and even 1% Irish on my father's side. In addition, there is the Netherlands. That's right, Dutch. But the caveat: this is ancestry DNA. The current political alignment of the area is not necessarily where I have ancestors from. Instead, it is possible that my ancestry comes in part from Switzerland. And the only reason we think that is because tracing back the genealogy, we can't get past 1640. Prior to 1640, records are hard to find. And that's because of in all likelihood, because of the 30-Year War, where the Catholic Church was waging war on Protestants. My family were members of the Reformed Church, the German Reformed Church. As such, it is possible that we came as refugees from German-speaking Switzerland down into the Hessian area of modern-day Germany. At this time, there wasn't a Germany as we know it. Hesse was the area that my family settled, and Hesse is where in the 1700s, my family left to come to America to fight in the Revolutionary War. So, there you have it. That is the results of my DNA test. And we'll continue on, and maybe we can get back further. But it looks like we might need to check church records and for baptism records and so forth back in Switzerland. Or perhaps maybe elsewhere. We don't know, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at David Surbaugh and the legacy he created over the 250 years. The good, the bad, the ugly. With that, I want to thank you for watching. Give this a big thumb up if you like the video. If you are on a mobile device, please like or please hype the video. If we're within the first week of the video, you can hype it. And then don't forget to find and follow us on Facebook as well. And as also on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Oh, and hit that bell to be notified of future videos. Thank you, and God bless. Have a great day. See you next time.